If you've spent any amount of time on the internet searching for the perfect coffee mug, then you've surely come across an Ember mug. You may even have seen these in Apple stores. At a whopping $100 for the 6-ounce version and up to $200 for the travel version, are these smart mugs worth the coin, or is it yet another needlessly smartified product? Before we get started, here are some quick disclaimers. Now you might be wondering, didn't you just do some sponsored content with them recently on Instagram? To which I'll say yes, I did. But obviously this review video is not going to be within the scope of that content. As always with my review videos, all thoughts and opinions are entirely my own. So while I have done some work with them in the past and some of these products were sent to me for free, this video is going to be my complete honest and unbiased opinion. Actually, these mugs here were purchased by myself long before I've worked with Ember about 2 years ago. So with that being said, take that for what you will, and let's move on with the review. Okay, so Ember claims to be the world's first temperature-controlled mug, and there are 3 main types of products that Ember produces at the time of this video. The first being the mugs, the second being the travel mug, and the third being this recently introduced cappuccino-sized cup, which is basically the regular mug with a handleless design and a smaller 6-ounce capacity. As with any review, let's first start with the build quality of each of these products. All of these products are made from the same mostly premium feeling metal build quality. The metallic versions of the mug do feel the same as the non-metallic versions, but does have like a more gloss-like finish to it, and obviously it has that metallic look and feel as well. The mugs do have a noticeable heft to them due to the electronic components being housed in the bottom of the mug, which is also where the heating element is. The power buttons are also located on the bottom with metal rings, and the metal rings that surround the button act as contact points for the charging coasters. Also, the mugs do seem to be interchangeable between the different coasters. Here I have the older V1 coaster, I have the newer V2 coaster here, and I have the coaster that comes with the travel mug, which is a different design altogether. Now again, weirdly enough, all the products do seem to work with all of the chargers, which makes me wonder why this was done, since from a manufacturing perspective, I'd assume it's going to be a little bit easier to stick to one design that fits all. Maybe they'll switch to that in the future. The coasters are also color matched to the mug that comes with it, which means for the travel mug, you only have black, but you also have these unique metallic and white options for the regular mug. The travel mug does also have an extra unique feature that does differentiate it from the other products, and that is the LED matrix display and touch functionality. And it works really, really well. With a single touch to the Ember logo turning it on and off to see the temperatures, a second touch allowing you to then adjust the temperature, and a third touch lets you see the name of the mug, which can then be modified in the app, and a fourth touch that lets you see the battery life. The touches do have a little audible click that almost gives the sensation of something akin to Apple's haptic feedback on their trackpads, weirdly enough. Now, one thing I don't like about the travel mug is the lid. For a $200 mug, this lid feels oddly cheap, being a simple piece of plastic with a little push functionality. Because of the materials and design choices used all around these mugs, the black products here are a little bit fingerprinty, the white and metallic ones not so much. However, after nearly 2 years of use, there is noticeable discoloration inside the white mug that I managed to mostly get clean with a soak and some Kafiza tabs, but is still there. In terms of usability, these mugs are on the easier side of smart mugs and devices to use. Pairing is made simple with pressing the button underneath the mug until it glows blue, putting it into pairing mode. Once connected on the phone, the app automatically shows you what product is connected down to the correct color, which is nice, which does make it easy to switch between different products if you have multiple at home on the app. It does also immediately allow you to use the temperature control feature. The app itself is very clean, has a modern UI, and lets you control the temperature easily in either Fahrenheit or Celsius, and also indicates whether or not there's any liquid in each of the cups. Since owning one of these mugs for 2 years now, I have had no issues with the software or glitches to date, and occasionally you do have to run some kind of firmware update, which is interesting given I've never really thought I'd need to update my mug. The mug works perfect for what it is, a mug. And one thing to note is that the advertised capacity does mean filling it up until it's nearly at the very most top of the mug. So realistically, if you have a 10-ounce mug like I do, you'd be filling it more to like 8 to 9 ounces, just to get a little bit of headroom and so you don't have any spillage. Now moving on to the cup. The cappuccino size capacity is great, and ergonomically feels really nice to hold and pour latte art into. However, there is one thing to note with regards to milk-based drinks in these mugs, and it's that the additional heating does cause you to lose your texture faster. Take a look at this comparison between the flat whites poured as close to us at the same time as possible and set on the table. In a few minutes, you can see the one over in the Ember mug losing its texture and basically turning into a much more water-like feel. almost like a latte, but it does retain its temperature. The other cup maintains the texture far better, but of course loses temperature faster. So it is going to be a little bit of a give and take with regards to milk-based drinks. Given that the mugs are designed to maintain a perfect drinking temperature, it is interesting that with a milk-based drink, you would potentially have to consume it a lot faster than you would normally. It does seem a little bit counterintuitive, given the point of retaining heat would be to allow consuming the drink for a longer period of time, or in this case at the very least a more preferred temperature. Now moving on to the travel mug. As mentioned earlier, the touch functionality here does work surprisingly well. Compared to say something like those Sony or Bose headphones with touch functionality on the ear cups, I've just never found those to work particularly well in my opinion. One thing I have noticed is that if you are grabbing this mug out of a bag or a darker environment, you could be prone to accidentally misclicking the logo, although I've just grown accustomed to grabbing the mug by the lower half to avoid that accidentally hitting the logo and accidentally changing your temperatures. Another thing to note about this one is that it is designed for traveling. I brought a fully charged mug with me to a flight from Boston to Florida, and the battery lasted about the duration of the flight, plus maybe half hour to an hour or so prior within the airport. In total, about 3 to maybe 3.5 hours. I would assume that with the added insulation the mug offers that it has a prolonged battery life compared to the alternative options, and also because it's not losing heat through the exposed top like the mugs here would. Another thing to consider with this is that it's designed for travel, which means you do have to bring the charger and the coaster with you if you're intending to use it beyond your initial means of transport, or I guess longer than 3 hours a day. This can be a little bit annoying, and it would have been nice to see maybe the option of a USB-C charging port protected by a little rubber flap or something either in the bottom or underneath the mug, but that's just my opinion personally. So in terms of temperature control, these mugs are outstanding. Nothing short of magical for your morning coffee drinking or tea drinking experience. In all the mugs here, I have noticed since the heating element comes from the bottom that your last few sips generally are just a little bit warmer than the rest of the cup. In terms of precision, I have noticed a 1 to 2 degree Fahrenheit variance in the cup, but accounting for that variance in the app is easy enough to just increase or decrease temperatures by a few degrees or so. All of the mugs here perform equally well, and I would be happy owning any one of these products. But no product is without its faults, and there are a few things I would like to see in future iterations of these products. Firstly, I think the ergonomics of the handle could be improved on. They have a noticeably thin and almost sharp handle, and it's a little bit on the smaller side of being only able to fit 3 fingers through the grip here. Secondly, specifically for the travel tumbler, I think a redesigned lid that matches the quality and price tag of this mug would be better. The plastic lid definitely takes away from that premium look and feel. And finally, having a standardized charging coaster would be great between the travel mug and other products, but that's really just being nitpicky since your average consumer probably won't have every single version of these mugs. So finally, is the Ember mug worth it? Let's go through it one product at a time and discuss their strengths, their downfalls, and if I think this product might be the right one for you. Okay, so starting with the new cheapest edition, the Ember Cup. At $100 for a 6-ounce handleless, is it worth it? For me personally, I'm going to say no on this one. If your intention is a cappuccino, flat white, or other milk-based drink where the texture does play an important role in enjoying the beverage. While the mug does do what it is designed to do very well, which is keeping your drink at a consistent temperature, it does destroy that nice texture you try so hard to achieve through steaming your milk. So again, while the intention is to allow you to drink your beverage at the perfect temperature for much longer, it does take away from the texture aspect, making you want to drink it a lot sooner. Unfortunately, it does seem like there's going to be no good way to prolong both temperature and texture of a milk-based drink, where the texture is going to be important to the enjoyment of the beverage. If, however, you are a tea drinker or prefer smaller cups or the handleless design, or maybe you have your coffee in a carafe and like to pour into something like this, then I can definitely recommend this size Ember product, especially since it is their cheapest entry option. Next up, the mug. The mugs are absolutely worth it in my opinion. They are Ember's best products and is nothing short of magical with having a consistently warm cup of coffee 2 or even 3 hours into the morning. I absolutely love the mugs. And finally, the travel mug. This one I have mixed feelings on. I do like the convenience of it holding a hot drink at the perfect temperature throughout something like a flight, but the annoyance of having to bring both the charger and the coaster around is a big downside in my opinion. Let's say you do have this and you commute to work with it, use it at your workplace, and commute home. It might just be worth having a second coaster at the workplace, which is going to set you back another $40 on top of an already $200 mug. They do also sell a sipping lid and a halo lid for this travel mug, but if they're the same build quality as the included lid, then I see them being overpriced for what they are. Then you also have the $100 24 karat gold halo lid option, but I feel like there's not much I need to say about that one. So while a nice convenience to have on a commute, I think that for $200, my money is going to be better well spent on a solid insulated regular travel thermos, and probably have a lot of money still lying around after that. So anyways, that is going to be my review of all of Ember's current product offerings, from the cup to the mug to the travel mug. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know if you have a different opinion on these products or a different experience with them, and let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.